Welcome back to another Neon Dynasty quick draft. I think this is about my 6th or 7th. So, without further ado, let's start it off. I've just tried out the... there's a new event where you can play challenger decks, so that's quite interesting. I tried the Stompy deck, the red-green Stompy deck, and the blue-green deck. But let's check out this draft. Right, Jugan defends the temple. That's a mythic. So for 3 green, you get a monk token that can add mana, so it's ramp. Then you're putting 2 +1/+1 counters. No, you put a +1/+1/+1 counter on up to 2 creatures. So if you only got 1 creature, you'll just get 1. So in this case, if you still got the monk, you get he'll become a 2/2. Then you exile it, and you get a 2/2 flyer with a very powerful ability. So whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you can pay X to put X +1/+1 counters on that creature. So it just makes every creature huge as you cast it. You get 5 or more modified creatures. This gets +5/+5 and trample. It becomes 7/7 trample. So obviously that is absolutely fantastic. I don't think there's a chance we'd go for anything else. Okay, so first of all, there's no rare in the second pack. Now I always sort of say every draft, just to remind myself really, try and pick the 5 best cards from the first 5 packs. Don't worry too much about committing early to a colour. Obviously, we've got a pretty good green card here. We don't want to go outside green, but we'll see which colour we might want to pair up with. I am a fan of this one, Era of Enlightenment. We could go for a group. It's maybe a bit early, but we could go for a green-white enchantment deck and look for all the good sagas. So that could be a good one. That's nice. It's 2 mana and it scries for 2, so it helps you fix your draw early on if you need to look for land. Then we've got a white removal card. Repel the Vile is pretty good. That's a black cantrip removal, which seems pretty nice, to be honest. And then we've got a green removal, so I think this is very solid in this set. It seems like pretty much everyone is playing artifacts or enchantments of some kind, so that's usually going to find a target. A bit of mana fixing there. So I would say Fade into Antiquity is probably just as good as Repel the Vile or Era of Enlightenment, and I'm going to just pick it just because it's green. So it gives me a bit more flexibility for my third pick. Right. Now, we could keep it very simple, and we could actually go for another Fade into Antiquity straight away. There's also Harmonious Emergence in green. Now, there's some nice uncommons here. We've got Covert Technician, which is for an artifact deck. I don't think we're picking that today. Discover the Impossible is actually pretty good, I found. Look at the top 5, and then you get one of those cards, and you can cast it for free if it's an instant with mana value 2 or less. That's actually not bad at all. This goes with a modified deck. We are modifying things with Jugan, so that's something to be aware of. But it's an 8 mana creature. It's not going to be it's going to be one of these high variance cards. It's not going to you're not going to want to see it in your opening hand, for example. I'm a big fan of the Modern Age. It's really good. I'm thinking, though, there's nothing that's that much better than Fade into Antiquity. Leaning too hard into these, if we find something that's not an artifact or an enchantment, then we might have a problem. But is there anything here so amazing it blows Fall into Antiquity out of the water? I don't think so. I'm gonna stick with green and take that. Keep it simple. So we look at the green cards here. We've got Heir of the Ancient Fang. So he's kind of a solid 3 mana drop. Goes with a modified theme. And this is basically a combat trick or an aura. So it's not high priority. What else have we got? I just spotted we've got an actual rare card, which means it's not one I've got 4 copies of, so we are just simply drafting this. Out of interest, let's check. He is not a legendary, the Remnant of the Rising Star, which is a shame. Got a nice artifact there, but so I think we're grabbing this and popping it in the sideboard. Okay, no rare this time. If we look at the green first, Jukai Preserver, that does a bit of modifying. That's pretty good. We've got Grafted Growth for a bit of modifying and mana fixing, and the Kami can bounce enchantments you control. So I know there's one of my favourite combos is with the Twisted Embrace Black Aura, which just destroys a creature. So I'm kind of thinking about maybe we could make green black and aim for that combo. So yeah, these are all pretty good. Well, I think Jukai Preserver is up there. He's just good on his own. He doesn't need a combo to be good. We've got another Era of Enlightenment, which is tempting. And let's see. You also got to think in terms of what's going to wheel around. I think let's dip into white. Let's grab an Era of Enlightenment and see if we can do a white-green enchantments deck. We'll just see if we get how much support we get for that. Containment Construct. I've just been making a deck with this guy. It's quite nice because he lets you play. He works with Channel, so you discard your card with Channel. You get the Channel effect, then you can play the card with your construct, which is pretty cool. So if we're thinking of the enchantments deck, we've got an enchantment creature there with lifelink. That's pretty good. Another enchantment creature here. You can put counters on stuff, but it's very expensive to do that. Yeah, I think let's grab a Golden Tail Disciple, I think. We've got a bit of life gain in the deck as well now, so that's something to remember. So this thing provides. You can do a bit of mana fixing. You can also do modify with it. So it's quite handy. You could just go for a Kitsune Ace. He's the only white or green thing here. That gives us a 2-drop. I think it's the white-blue deck really that uses. It's got the best vehicles. Searchlight Companion as well. I think we'll get a mana fixer just in case. It's good to have a couple. Now we've got. That's the card we've been looking for. So Generous Visitor. Pretty amazing in an enchantment deck. Interesting. So Season of Renewal is that's going to be a pretty good card advantage. That's going to give us. It's a 2-for-1 basically. If we commit to enchantments and enchantment creatures, and then Tamio's Safekeeping, I'd consider definitely using in this deck to protect my really important creatures like Generous Visitor. But I think, yeah, Tamio's Safekeeping, it tends to wheel around a bit. You tend to get one as a late pick. I think I'm going to take a Season of Renewal. I've not tried it yet. It seems pretty good in principle. Okay, that's nice. We've got a late Repel the Vile. Let's go for that. Yep. And Harmonious Emergence came around. Also an enchantment. So we can either go for this, the modify guy, or the enchantment. So on balance, I think we'll take the enchantment. Okay, let's grab that. Okay. This is very light on green and white cards, this pack. Now the one, if you're really serious about drafting, you'd pick a Spirited Companion, so it's an enchantment creature, and you draw a card when you play it, which is pretty amazing. But I am a rare drafter. I'm going to grab Goro-Goro. That'll be my third one. You sort of think, can I splash for Goro-Goro? Well, you need 2 red to activate his ability. So that's a bit of a long shot, I would say, but we'll pop him in the sideboard. Right, let's see what we've got here. So pretty nice red burn spell there. This is another Saga. It can help you ramp out if you draw a lot of land in your opening hand. Feel like it's not amazing. If we look down here, there is a Master's Rebuke. So that's another bit of removal in the right colour. So we'll just grab the removal. Right. Okay, another Repel the Vile. Heir of the Ancient Fang. We think he'll wheel around, and yeah, we'll just go for the. I think we'll go for this removal card. Oh, look at this. So we've got this interesting card. I even have, if I look at this, he's a dragon spirit, which actually works with Dragon Kami's egg, so potentially you can hatch two things if, I guess, if another dragon dies first before the egg. But if we were, it's not that great a card, to be honest. It's probably one of the weakest rares for draft. You'd probably go Greater Tanuki if you're playing sensibly, but we're gonna, maybe we'll try using it. Let's go for it. Oh my goodness, spinning wheel kick. So that's brilliant. Yeah, we've got some other things that are quite good, but we're obviously going to take that. Now we'd quite like to get a Death Toucher to go with that. There's a snake with Death Touch. So here we'll finally get a Greater Tanuki. It's looking very green so far. There's a splash of white. Oh, there's the Kami we can bounce enchantments with. Or we could go another Repel the Vile. I feel like, yeah, we're doing quite well for removal. Let's just count our removal. We've got that spinning wheel kick. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 removal. It's also a bit of life gain. I think you take Repel. I don't know. Would I run 3 Repel the Viles though? You get in trouble when they don't have any high power creatures. I suppose I can power up opposing creatures in order to take them out. Probably a bit low on creatures, aren't I? Yeah, I've got a grand total of 3 creatures. We've got 2 auras though, so that's... No, not auras. It's 3 sagas. I think probably 2 Repel the Vile's enough, and I'm going to just take a value creature that's going to help me use my enchantments. I think here would just take the cheap creature. It has the bonus effect. I can bounce one of my saga creatures. Ninjutsu. Okay. Only cult anvil's pretty nice. I don't think we can go for that, unfortunately. I guess, yeah, just take the Heir of the Ancient Fang here. I think Crackling Emergence is pretty good. Maybe we'll take a Dismal Backwater just as if we want to splash for something. Yeah, another one of these. Probably I'm very unlikely to splash for that. Let's take an uncommon. Another Season of Renewal or Ecologist Terrarium. Let's take Season of Renewal again. Green-black, that could be handy. And it's the last pack. Oh wow, well. We got the Wandering Emperor, that's fantastic.
Feel the energy of battle. then guide it like water.
So that puts me quite deep into white. Feel like I need to pick a few more white cards to have a more balanced deck. Right, so if we look through these, I'd quite like to have a Skyturtle, but you know what? It is double green. That's quite tempting, with especially with Season of Renewal. He's an enchantment and a creature. Yeah, I like the Skyturtle here. That's my late game sort of value plan. There is a Wanderer's Intervention. It's quite good, but it kind of, you can lose to ninjutsu. You have to play around ninjutsu, I suppose. Yeah, Tales of Master Seshiro, that is pretty good as well. You get a 5/5 haster. But I think we'll grab the turtle. We'll see if we can make the turtle work in this deck. Oh, Explosive Singularity. Well, yeah, I'm going to grab that. Right. Another Fade into Antiquity. Another Harmonious Emergence. I feel like we are short of creatures. 2 Fade into Antiquity is probably about right. So that counts as a modify creature. It's an enchantment as well. So yeah, that's a pretty good choice. Let's go for it. Oh, another spinning wheel kick. Nice. Yeah, can't see beyond that really. Okay, so Bamboo Grove Archer. I reckon that's probably the one to go for. It's an enchantment creature. Commune with Spirits is actually pretty good for smoothing things out. Another Fade into Antiquity, another Harmonious Emergence. So, yeah, ignore those. It's between these two, I think. Yeah, I think I like Bamboo Grove Archer. Careful Cultivation, so you can make a creature with this, and it's an enchantment, so yep, I think that's what we go for. There's Befriending the Moths, I've never used. That gives you some evasion, gives you flying. Just on your turn, so you can get through with some damage. I suppose that is also a ramp card for your more expensive cards. I think I'll go Careful Cultivation. Okay, yeah, another Greater Tanuki seems good. Right, we could take another enchantment creature. So 3/2 for 3 basically, and it's an enchantment. That seems pretty good. Or Wanderer's Intervention. That's a tough one. How are we doing for creatures? It's difficult to count. There's actually a lot of auras that count as creatures, sagas that count as creatures as well. I'd say, yeah, it's at least 13. Some of my auras can turn into creatures. So, like Careful Cultivation. That one is not a creature. Yeah. So I think I've got, with the auras, the 3 auras, the 3 sagas, I've got a selection of 16 creatures. I've got enough creatures to go. So yeah, I think we'll take a Wanderer's Intervention. Now we'll take the Bearer of Memory. Ancestral Katana probably goes in the sideboard. Another Fade into Antiquity. I don't think there's any black cards we'd splash for now. So Fade into Antiquity. Third one. Yeah, just take that one. Fourth Fade into Antiquity. Don't think we play all 4 somehow, but right. Let's just figure out if any of these cards are worth splashing for. You'd need... Right, we've already got... white is basically... Okay, yeah, we've got 2 splash colours. We definitely want Colossal Skyturtle, because that just seems like fun with the... which one is it? Season of Renewal. Seems like a nice combination. We're not gonna splash red as well. That would be ridiculous. Yeah. Not really a draft card, the Mirror Box. I think we definitely trim down to 1 island for the land. So I think what we'll do is with our first pass, I think we'll get rid of anything that's not an enchantment. And maybe some of the conditional removal, like Wanderer's Intervention. We'll just take that out. So we'll drop Stalker, Master's Rebuke, Terrarium. Don't think we need Terrarium because we've got 2 Greater Tanukis. Maybe that's hopefully enough. Okay, that's good. That's good. 4 Fade into Antiquity is a lot. If I drop it to about 2, that seems about right. We'll just drop those for now. So we just want to create the core of the deck. I think we keep Season of Renewal. Keep both copies. Maybe this is the game. We actually play with the Dragon Kami Reborn. There's no way of sacrificing the egg. I have to rely on my opponent to let me block something. Let me chomp block with it. That's quite. I suppose that's quite a good threat, though, isn't it? I suppose I could give it reach with Favor of Jukai as well. Do I keep that? Okay, so I think keep 2 Repel the Vile. We want the Wandering Emperor. Do we keep that? I suppose because it's an enchantment. It stays. This does stuff with enchantments. So I think we keep that. Those are enchantments as well. Those are enchantments. He's an enchantment. I've got Spinning Wheel Kick. I think that we'll just look at the. We don't have Death Touch, unfortunately. But this is quite a blowout late game. And we do have some big creatures to go with it, so. Yeah, we'll look at I try to think about the ceiling and the floor. So the floor of this card, you pay 4 mana, and it's the same as I think the card I've just cut actually, Master's Rebuke. It's the same as Master's Rebuke. It's a 4 mana Master's Rebuke. But if you pay 6 mana, you can do a double Master's Rebuke, basically. Do we want 2 of them? Maybe. I think I notice I'm still on 41 cards, having just cut a bunch of stuff. I generally cut the things that are just aura enchantments or combat tricks. So I'd probably cut Favor of Jukai, and then just see where I am. We do not have much in the way of 2-drops. We have 2 2-drops. Yeah, we've got I suppose if you focus quite hard on one colour, it can make things quite awkward. Because yeah, we dropped a Coiling Stalker. We do have quite a suite of removal cards, so and Wandering Emperor's removal as well. I think I'd drop a Repel the Vile and pop in another 2-drop. So maybe the Coiling Stalker makes it in after all, I think. Era of Enlightenment just seems a bit iffy to have if I'm really leaning heavily on green. I could just cut white out of the deck, which is that's a bit tough with to ignore the Wandering Emperor. But we could that would let us cut 4 cards, so we could put some more creatures in, 2 Era of the Ancient Fangs in. a Master's Rebuke and a Fade into Antiquity. Alright, I think I'll call that end of part 1, and I'll tinker with my deck and come up with a final build. Actually, I guess Dragon Kami Reborn is probably going to get cut, to be honest. Yeah. Alright, so see you in part 2.